Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to our ALEPH Chevra and our Pnei Or Chevra, extended family and friends far and wide. This Shabbos brings us a double parsha, Chukat and Balak. Our people's journey continues. As you recall, following our rather disastrous response to the Scouts report, we turned back into the desert. Our desert sojourn will eventually raise up the young generation who, having been born into freedom, will have the courage to enter the land. Yet, our desert journey will last 40 years. It will bring us victories and defeats, challenges and exaltations. We are magnificent and noble, frightened and insecure. We're united by sacred purpose and bitterly uncertain. We are exhausted, invigorated, depressed, elated, and everything in between. Our beloved Moshe remains our inspiration, but his leadership is fraying. The open rebellion of Korach and his handlers has hurt us. Disease too has struck the camp. Today, as we camp in the wilderness of Zin, to our horror, our beloved spiritual guide, Miriam, dies. With her death, the miraculous well of water adjacent to her tent disappears. Our grief is overwhelming, and there is no water. The complaining crescendos. Moshe loses it in a frenzy of frustration. You want water? Well, I'll get you water display. Instead of speaking to the rock in front of everyone, he strikes it repeatedly, violently. His leadership capacities are strained beyond what is viable. Compounding the grief, Aharon too dies. Eleazar is appointed to his role, but no one can replace Aharon or Miriam. Venomous snakes attack, inspiring a shamanic ritual through which Moshe heals the afflicted people. Our warriors defeat the Amorite warlords who denied us safe passage, and Balak, king of Moab, realizes we're trouble. Truthfully, everyone is in trouble. Enter Bilaam, freelance prophet, enchanter, diviner, visionary. No better from Balak's point of view to curse this troublesome tribe and strike it down for good. Balak hires Bilaam to curse us. And then, of course, 3 times, from 3 different vantage points, Bilaam enters a trance to pronounce his curses. Each time, blessings pour forth instead. King Balak is not amused. One of these blessings, of course, has become the signature phrase with which many gatherings for tefillah, for Jewish prayer, begin. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. In our local Pnei Or gatherings here, this Ma tovu affirmation is often introduced like this. With a deep, sweet, cleansing breath, we stretch beyond the everyday Yaakov aspect of ourselves. allowing our Yisrael, our God engaged, our God intoxicated, our highest self to emerge. Our highest self. What might that mean? Well, we have been told that each of our neshamas, each of our souls is a helek Eloha mima'al mamash, a diamond chip of divinity. Reb Zalman used to say, each of us is a chip off the old block. Last week we learned that this ability to see inner holiness was a gift that Aaron HaKohen shared with us. It is said that he could see with Mashiach eyes. He could see the holiness of each person. He could see the divinity shining inside of us, in each of us. The complainers, the kvetchers, the courageous, the terrified, the noble, the humble. In his eyes, we saw our inner holiness, our worthiness reflected back to us. In this way, he elevated each person. Yes, we are stressed. Some days, everything can look like it's falling apart. But then this phrase leaps from Torah to our hearts. Ma Tovu. And we remember to see our inner holiness, to see past the outer appearances into the pnimius, the inside of ourselves and others, mamish, that we're mamish, really, chelek Elohim ma'al mamish, really, really good. Ma tovu. Remembering this can help us fulfill that other affirmation with which so much of our tefillah begins. You know, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. It's right there on the front page of the Siddur. What can this mean? Despite everything, seeing our own inner goodness, honoring and loving our best and most true selves. And from that place, seeing the God spark, and hopefully also the blessing in everything and everyone around us. Today, we will rise into that hope. We will call one Zaftig Aliyah, entering the blessing trances with Bilaam, affirming this holy intention. It is, after all, a good time to love each other and transmute curses into blessings as best we can, with every capacity we can muster. Beautiful friends, Shabbat Shalom. We enter the gate of Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Adonai miYerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah li'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Adonai miYerushalayim, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Adonai miYerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל מקדושתו.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadol Adonai iti, uneramema.
Shemo Yachdav.
Friends, as we prepare for this Aliyah, if you are new to our ALEPH or Pnei or gatherings, I share with you a word about Torah brachas. In our Siddur, it says, it is a custom in Jewish renewal communities to encourage both feminine and masculine God language, along with inclusive and non-triumphalist language in prayer. The wording of the Torah brachas has become a focus of this kind of creative activity. Today, we offer divergent renditions of the Torah blessings as examples of how this is being done. If you choose to rise in your place for this Aliyah, we rise to enter the blessing trances with Bilaam, affirming a holy intention to love one another, to transmute curses into blessings as best we can, with every capacity we can muster. Baruch et Adonai Haborach,
Baruch Adonai Haborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Haborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirvanu la'avodato v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Twice this has happened, and now, Vayomer Balak el Bilaam lecha na ekacheha el makom acher, ulai yishar beinei haElohim v'kavot olim misham. Vayikach Balak et Bilaam rosh hapeor הנשקף על פני הישימון. ויאמר בלעם אל בלק, בנה לי בזה 7 מזבחות, וכן לי בזה 7 פרים ו7 אלים. ויעש בלק כאשר אמר בלעם, ויעל פר ועיל במזבח. So now, Balak says to Bilaam, let's try it one more time. I'm going to take you somewhere else with a really good view. Hopefully, it will be okay with Elohim, that you could do the curse for me from there. So Balak takes Bilaam up to Rosh HaPeor, the high places with a wide view. Now Bilaam says to Balak, okay, build for me 7 altars and bring all of the animals we need for sacrifices. So Balak does, according to the word of Bilaam, bringing all of the animals for the sacrifices. Vayar Bilaam ki tov be'enei Adonai levarech et Israel. Now Bilaam gets it, that it is good with Yah to bless Israel. So he ceases his standard procedure of divination, of sorcery through snakes. Vayashet el midbar panav. And he turns his face to the open country and raises up his eyes, Vayar et Israel shochin lishvatav, and sees Israel, Shechina, arising from the tribes. Vatehi alav ruach Elohim, and upon him suddenly blows the spirit wind of Elohim. And he goes into his trance and says, Neum Bilam Ganobeor Neum Hagevel Shtuma'ayin Neum Shomea Imreel Asher Machazeh Shaddai Yachezeh Novel Veloi Galui Enayim. Here is the word of Bilam, son of Beor, the one with third eye opened, who hears the speech of El, who has visions of Shaddai, fallen down, ego destroyed, yet eyes wide open. Ma Tovu, O Halecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma Tovu, O Halecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Kan Chaim Natayu keganot alenar kalim nata Adonai karazim alemayim. How good are your tents, Yaakov! From Israel comes Shechina, like groves of trees, gardens beside the wide river, like aloe planted by Yah, cedars beside the water, dripping water from their branches, their seed in the many waters. Their kingdom shall rise high. El, who brought them out of Egypt, powerful like the hands of the wild ox. They will consume their enemies, crush their bones, break their arrows, lying down like the king of beasts. Who dares disturb the lion? Those who bless you will be blessed. Those who curse you will be damned. Vayicharaf Balak el Bilam vayispok et kapav. And now Balak's rage explodes and he claps his hands together in frustration, saying to Bilaam, I brought you on as the top of the line sorcery to give me a first-class curse, and now you have blessed 3 times. So now, flee, go back home. I said I would make you wealthy, but here Yah has taken that wealth from you. ויאמר בלעם אל בלק, הלא גם אל מלאכך אשר שלחת אליי דיברתי לאמור, אם ייתן לי בלק מלוא ביתו כסף וזהב, לא אוכל לעבור את פי אדוני לעשות טובה או רעה מליבי, אשר ידבר אדוני אותו אדבר. Bilaam answers, I told your emissaries from the get-go, Balak could give me all of his treasury, silver and gold, and I can only say, whether it be evil or good, what Yah sends through my heart, that's the only thing I can say. However, seeing as you're aggrieved, I'm going to give you one more prophecy free of charge. ואתה הנה הולך לעני לך ידך אשר יעשה העם הזה לעמך באחרית הימים וישא משלו ויאמר, and he goes down into his trance and says, Bilaam belvor ומגבר שתום העין שומע אמרל ויודע דת עליון מחזה שדי יחזה נופל וגלוי עיניים ארנו ולא עתה אשורנו ולא קרוב. The word of Bilaam, son of Beor, the one with third eye open, who hears the speech of El, who knows the high knowledge, who sees the vision of Shaddai, fallen, yet with ego destroyed and eyes wide open. This is not going to happen in the now. I see what will happen a long time from now also. A star rises from Yaakov, a meteor from Israel, which will smash your Moab. V'karkar kol b'nei Shet and Shet, ve'aya Edom Yeresha, and Edom will become a vassal. Then Yeresha Seir, and Seir to its enemies, and Yisrael will continue in its power. Vayerdi Yaakov v'hervit Sarid Meir, vayaret Amalek. And he sees Amalek and says, Amalek thinks they are first among nations. Their end is to disappear into oblivion. Sees the Canaanite and says, you think you are secure in your forts on the high ground. They will be burned and you will become a possession. From the sea will come ships which will destroy Assyria. I see the future. All the great nations in their power will disappear. All the empires will rise and be consigned to the dustbin of history. For none can withstand the power of Yah. And so it's over. Bilaam gets up, comes back, starts walking home, and Balak continues on his way. ויקם בלעם וילך וישוב למקומו, וגם בלק הלך לדרכו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
May the Holy One of Blessing, who has blessed all of our people throughout the ages, bring compassion on all the people and creatures of this world, and bless everyone who has come up, who has risen wherever you are, who has stood to honor God, to honor Torah, to honor Shabbos. May you be blessed with eyes wide open, that each time you speak, blessings pour forth and not curses, that you see the inside of the inside, the inner holiness, the pneumius, the inner holiness of each person. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. May our highest selves emerge. Amen, amen. At this time, it is our custom to offer prayers for healing, inviting everyone who is not already standing to rise in your place wherever you are and reach literally or virtually towards a shoulder near you. We make a living chain towards Torah as we call out the ancient words that Moshe Rabbeinu called out when Miriam, his sister, was stricken, and he prayed, Ana elna, Rafana Allah, please God, please heal. And she was healed. You may wish right now to hit pause so that you can call out the names of those to whom you would wish our healing prayers be sent from our hearts through your heart and beyond. Hit pause. Ana elna Rafanala, please God, please heal. Ana elna Rafanala, Ana elna Rafanala, Ana elna Rafanala, Ana elna Rafanala. We ask for a complete healing, a healing of spirit, refuat hanefesh, a healing of body, refuat haguf, for ourselves and for all those whom we hold in our hearts. And especially at this time, we send prayers for healing to all those impacted by the coronavirus and to all of the vigilant healthcare workers who daily risk their lives to save lives. May all of us be safe and be well. We stay present as the scroll is lifted.
Bezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe libnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yar Moshe ve'orai Kodesh Barihu Charu Yisroel ve'orai Kodesh Barihu Charu Torah, 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 Hallelujah. Torah, 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 Hallelujah. Torah, Torah, Hallelujah. Torah, Torah, Hallelujah. Et chai lemachzik ima v'torachecha meusha derachecha darhei Elohim v'chol Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu
We hold in our hearts a vision of a perfected world. Our beloved Rebbe Reb Zalman would always call this one way in which we charge the electromagnet of the possible future. We hold in our hearts a vision of the way the world can be and must be. A world of wholeness, completion, fulfillment, and peace. If you wish for just a moment, you can unmute yourself and call out one word of your vision of the way the world can be, must be, will be. A world of wholeness, completion, fulfillment, perfection, and peace. Od Yavo Shalom. Aleinu.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Shalom, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Shalom, salam v'ne'emar ve'haya lemelech ha'olam bayom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad Ushemu
Holding in our hearts our vision of the way the world can be, must be. We offer a Kaddish Yatom, a mourner's Kaddish. that there might be a soul ascent for everyone for whom Kaddish Yatom is offered today. If perhaps you are in a time of mourning or observing a yahrzeit, or it has become your custom to rise into a mourner's Kaddish in behalf of all of those who have perished with no one to say Kaddish for them. Please remain standing or rise at this time. Kaddish Yatom. You may wish to hit pause so that you can call out the names of those for whom you offer a Kaddish this morning.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו, בעולמה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכם וביומכם וחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבא מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי בקדושה וברכו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבא מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום דרומיה יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
May there be a soul ascent for every neshama for whom Kaddish is offered this morning. We close our gathering in Keloheinu. What melody is coming around on the guitar?
Ein Keloheinu, ein Kalodeinu, ein Kemakenu, ein Kemoshienu, mi Keloheinu, mi Kalodeinu, mi Kemakenu, mi Kemoshienu, noten Eloheinu, noten Adonenu, noten Malkeinu, noten Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.